Okay, the Truman Show 3-act structure. So Act 1, there's actually a pre-start to the start of this movie. The pre-start being Christoph giving his speech about the show. So they come clean straight away that this is a show. So we don't have to discover it as Truman's discovering it. We watch him discover it. The start is, once upon a time there was this happy-go-lucky chap who didn't realise he was in a reality TV show. I wondered whether the inciting incident was the lamp falling from the sky, which happens early on, about 3 or 4 minutes in. But I don't think it is really that. Anyway, so we'll come to that in a second. The end of the first 10 minutes is he announces this plan to leave. He wants to go to Fiji. Then we get the true inciting incident at 15 minutes, which is the usual place inciting incident falls. And this is him seeing his father again, who he believes is dead. We see his memory of him meeting the girl he actually loves, of his gold character, Natasha McElhorn, and also, or McKellen, however you pronounce that name. We also in that moment see how he met his actual wife, Meryl. And all the actors are sort of named after movie stars, all the characters. Plot point 1 is he wakes up to the fakery of his world. Act 2, Part 1, he begins to work it out, what's going on. The bridge, the halfway section in Act 2, Part 1, is that he proves his suspicions of the fakery to his wife. And the halfway point is that he is reunited with his dad. So just at the point where he has figured everything out and is about to rebel, they bring back his dad to kind of calm him down, or seemingly calm him down. Act 2, Part 2, we then get a recap of how this has all been put together, of the great moments in his life from his birth, etc. And you often find this, that Act 2, Part 2 is a great place to put your flashbacks, you might say, or your backstory moments. It gives us a bit of a break, and it allows us to catch up with questions that we might have. Also, the third quarter of anything is always the most boring bit, so to do something which is away from the story is always refreshing. Now, the movie isn't 2 hours, it's 140, 142, because it's been done as a comedy more and less as a drama. So here the plot points crunch into each other a little bit, in that at first I thought, well, maybe the bridge 2, the halfway point in Act 2, Part 2, is the bit where he escapes. And perhaps you could say that it's the escape from his basement is the second bridge, or the beginning of that sequence, and perhaps plot point 2 is the escape, really. So it's a kind of a short Act 2, Part 2. It's something like, well, it's about 20 minutes. And then we get the Act 3. They're searching for him, and we get the climax of them killing him at sea, or trying to kill him. So the storm becomes the climax. I mean, that's a physical action climax, but perhaps the real climax is finally Christoph and him talk to each other. I mean, that's really the true emotional climax. And Christoph, the creator, tells him, you can't leave because you're afraid. This is a version of 1984, so it's the same scene as Winston and O'Brien. You're afraid, you can't leave, you're weak, etc. So I must look after you. And the end is he does choose to escape. He does go. He finds the door, he finds the limits of his prison walls, and he takes the step and he exits.